We are in the middle of primary season in a year where control of both houses of Congress could be up for grabs. In our Race to November segment this week, former Secretary of the Interior under President Trump and Montana congressional candidate Ryan Zinke joins us. Mr. Secretary, good to see you.
Great to be with you.
Now, you were the U.S. Secretary of the Interior under former President Trump. You held Montana's lone House seat before that. You served in the state legislature, and before that, you were a Navy SEAL. Mr. Secretary, now forgive me, but some folks might say, with all of those accomplishments, go into the private sector now. Why do you want to go back to Congress?
You know, the fight for freedom never ends, and our country is worth fighting for. You know, when I was a SEAL, I can tell you it was a lot easier sometimes being a SEAL than it was a Secretary of Interior. Because at least with the SEAL, you know, when you get shot at from the front. But, you know, yeah. I'm a rag, and I believe that, you know, I always like to look at things half full. And we need to look at the issues in this country. We can drive down energy costs back down to $2 a gallon. We can control spending, and that's hurting on, you know, inflation. Inflation largely is energy, you know, coupled with excess spending, and we can fix both of those. But we really need to look at our country as a whole of where we're going. If we don't turn this country around shortly, I think we could lose her. So I'm passionate about it. I believe we can fix this country. It's within our merit and measure to do so. You know, I'm endorsed by President Trump, and he loves winners. And you know, also, you know, Governor Gianforte. I have a A+ endorsed by NRA and 100% right for life. We're feeling pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
A lot of what we feel out in Montana, I can tell you, is a lot of pressure from Washington, D.C., trying to intrude in our lives.
Now, Mr. Secretary, you are in a primary. Your primary is on Tuesday. Your opponents have said that you're too liberal for Montana, that you're soft on guns, you didn't do enough to build the border wall. How do you defend your record? And you have a long one. And what is your response to those criticisms?
Well, it's pretty easy. I'm endorsed by the NRA and have an A+ rating. And as Interior was responsible for about 40% of the border. I built the border wall, and President Trump, you know, knows it. So I don't think President Trump endorses RINOS. You know, but at the end of the day, you take the criticism, you move on. But the Republican Party too, you know, as a group, we have to be on the moral high ground. You know, I hear this, well, because the other side did it, especially abusing power, as we've seen the Pelosi administration do. You know, when we take the majority back, I think we have to be on the right side of the issue and not abuse our power, and make sure that the American people know that we're going to do things right.
Yeah.
We're going to do things by the law. We're going to enforce the Constitution of the United States, and we're going to save this country.
You know, to that point, because, you know, there are a lot of folks in D.C. who are sort of ginning up. They're saying, well, you know, if Republicans take back control, we're gonna go after Fauci. We're going to impeach Joe Biden. We're gonna launch all sorts of different investigations. We saw that certainly, and the abuse of that certainly during the Trump administration, where they went after everybody, including the president himself. Are you saying focus more on the issues than those types of things?
I think we need to hold people accountable. You know, particularly in the Biden administration, it seems that there's a lot there between Hunter Biden and the president himself. So I think it does need to be thoroughly investigated. I think we need to investigate, you know, some egregious acts. But I would say be judicial in our investigation and not abuse the power. Go through the process. And just because the other team lies, cheats, and steals, we should not bow to that bait. There has to be a difference between the right and wrong. There has to be a difference between the Republican Party being a Republican Party of values, protecting the Constitution, limited government, and self-determination. That's the party of the Republican Party, and we need to enforce that message. But you don't do it by lying and cheating and doing what the other side does. You do it by showing the American people that we're better and our path for this country is better.
And Mr. Secretary, when you're out campaigning, and it's a big state, you need a plane to get from one end of your district to the other. What are the top two issues that people talk to you about? And should the GOP take back control of the House, what should be job one for the new majority?
I think we drive energy prices down, we drive spending down to control inflation. And look, if you control inflation, then things that are local issues like affordable housing in Montana, we need to make sure there's capital investment. And there's a big difference between affordable housing and government housing. I'm an advocate for affordable housing. Affordable housing is bring the cost per unit down on apartments so people at least have a landing area. In Montana, we have huge challenges. You know, lovely state, everyone wants to come, but it's really hard to find any place to live. And I think the government actually can step in by providing access to capital, expediting the permit process, so we can get apartments, you know, built where people have a place to live.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Montana GOP primaries are Tuesday, June 7th. Secretary Ryan Zinke running in that primary. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you, and God bless.